Good morning. I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I am a Course in Miracles student. I have been for the last 40 years. One of the things that I do is every year I go through the lessons. At least I've been doing this for the last several years. The first time I did it exactly as Jesus tells us to do, and that's very important. After that, I just started reading them and asking Jesus to clarify for me, to help me to understand it better, maybe to see whatever it was that he had for me to know this time around. and then I write down whatever it is that comes into my mind. So I do this just because I love the lessons. It's not necessary that we continue to do them every year or even to read them if we don't want to, but I just have discovered that year after year, my understanding of what he's telling us just gets sharper than it was before, deeper than it was before. Okay, so starting a brand new year, it's always exciting to start the year over again and see what is in store for us this year. And so what we're going to start with is the introduction, because the introduction to A Course in Miracles, to the lessons in A Course in Miracles, it's very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a paragraph and then talk about it, and then read the next paragraph. So paragraph 1, a theoretical foundation such as the text provides is necessary as a framework to make the exercises in this workbook meaningful. Yet it is doing the exercises that will make the goal of the course possible. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. It is the purpose of this workbook to train your mind to think along the lines the text sets forth. If this is your first year of going through the workbook, welcome. I'm very excited for you because these lessons are going to shift you into a new, happier, and more peaceful way of living. They will lead you to awakening. Doing these lessons is necessary because this mind training will make the goal of the course possible. This is a mind training course. Our thoughts are very powerful, so powerful that they have made the world we see now. Obviously, since we made the world through our separation thoughts, we need to change if we are to release the world that is the effect of our guilt and fear. Once we learn to live without fear and guilt driving us, we will then see what is possible. Because we are love itself. When our mind is healed, the world will represent the loving thoughts of which we are capable. These lessons, if done as they are set out here, will shift the mind effortlessly. They are training us to think differently, one gentle step at a time. Paragraph 2. The exercises are very simple. They do not require a great deal of time, and it does not matter where you do them. They need no preparation. The training period is 1 year. The exercises are numbered from 1 to 365. Do not undertake to do more than one set of exercises a day. The first few lessons are so simple that new students often want to do more than one a day. Jesus knew that this would be our thoughts because at the beginning, we don't understand the importance of these lessons. For this reason, he makes a point of telling us, do not undertake to do more than one set of exercises a day. Another question new students have is, can I do the lessons for more than one day? And there's no reason that we can't do this. In this group that I have on Facebook, We are going to do one a day. And if you want to use this group as a touchstone and an encouragement to complete the lessons, you may want to stick to the one a day plan. I did this when I first went through the lessons completely. I enjoyed working as a group on them, sharing my thoughts and hearing about how others were using it. I didn't want to fall behind, so I kept up the pace of one a day. The next year I did the lessons again, and I lingered where I felt drawn to do so. So paragraph 3, the workbook is divided into 2 main sections. The first dealing with the undoing of the way you see now, and the second with the acquisition of true perception. With the exception of the review periods, each day's exercises are planned around one central idea, which is stated first. This is followed by a description of the specific procedures by which the idea for the day is to be applied. We need to change the way we think if we want to change the way we live and experience life. Our first step is to undo the way we presently think. This is a very simple process, but there can be and probably will be resistance along the way. Don't be discouraged about this. Just keep doing as the course instructs. It all works out in the end. The second part of the workbook is devoted to replacing the wrong-minded thoughts with a truer way of perceiving. So paragraph 4, the purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. The exercises are planned to help you generalize the lessons so that you will understand that each of them is equally applicable to everyone and everything you see. Paragraph 5, transfer of learning in true perception does not proceed as does transfer of training of the world. If true perception has been achieved in connection with any person, situation, or event, total transfer to everyone and everything is certain. On the other hand, one exception held apart from true perception makes its accomplishments anywhere impossible. These lessons will shift your thinking, but it is necessary that you understand that for this to work, you cannot make exceptions. As Jesus says in sentence 2, each of them is equally applicable to everyone and everything you see. You might be surprised to see how much resistance you have to this idea. There will be thoughts that some ideas just don't apply to a situation in your life. This is never true, no matter how reasonable the objection seems. Jesus emphasizes this when he says in sentence 3, one exception held apart from true perception makes its accomplishments anywhere impossible. That's pretty important. That's a sentence to underline. Paragraph 6. The only general rules to be observed throughout then are, first, that the exercises be practiced with great specificity, if I'm saying that right, as will be indicated. This will help you to generalize the ideas involved to every situation in which you find yourself and to everyone and everything in it. Second, be sure that you do not decide for yourself that there are some people, situations, or things to which the ideas are inapplicable. This will interfere with transfer of training. The very nature of true perception is that it has no limits. It is the opposite of the way you see now. In paragraph 7, the overall aim of the exercises is to increase your ability to extend the ideas you will be practicing to include everything. This will require no effort on your part. The exercises themselves meet the conditions necessary for this kind of transfer. I'm sure that everyone has moments when they believe a particular situation is different and these rules do not apply. And this is never the case. These lessons apply to all parts of our lives. Using the many situations in our lives as opportunities to apply the lesson will teach us this important point is true. So when you can't understand how a situation applies, just let faith and trust carry you through the lesson. You won't regret this decision. Paragraph 8. Some of the ideas a workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You're not asked to judge them at all. You're asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. I remember when I began the study of the course, I had a lot of resistance to the lessons. They didn't make sense to me, and some of them scared me. It took me a long time, starting and stopping, before I got all the way through them. There was a reason for this problem. I was judging them, even though Jesus tells us right here not to do that. When I finally stopped judging and just followed directions, I made great progress, and I came to love the lessons. Paragraph 9. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept them, and you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy. There's that word again. But do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. And whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. You know, at first I complained all the time about how hard it was to do the lessons. I was being ridiculous. The essential rules for doing the lessons and gaining from them are right here in this one paragraph. How much easier could it be? I'm not asked to agree with them or believe them or even accept or welcome them. I'm just asked to do them. I finally got it, and I'm so glad that I did. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed this and found it helpful, like it and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow.